Hey there, good afternoon, Baton Rouge, and welcome to the Backstage at the Blues Festival 2015, right here on 97.7 Downtown Radio. Rob Payer is my name, and I am very, very happy to, first of all, say that we've got a fantastic blues festival happening right here in the River Center of downtown Baton Rouge. If you got any doubt in your mind, I don't care if it's raining or shining outside right now, it's a party happening in stage. I've seen some blues, I've seen some gospel. It's fantastic. So make sure you come on down, because this is a big, big fun time. If you love the blues, this is where you need to be. Here in Baton Rouge, what we look at Baton Rouge, we view Baton Rouge as a hub of the blues. People talk about Louisiana as being the birthplace of the blues, but here in Baton Rouge, we look at Baton Rouge as actually having so many wonderful, wonderful, fantastic blues musicians thrive, grow, and bring their music to the world. And one of the true ambassadors, we talk about the ambassadors of the blues, one of the real ambassadors of Baton Rouge Blues and Louisiana is sitting with me right now, Mr. Larry Garner. Larry Garner, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so graciously.
Larry, it's always a pleasure to just sit down and talk with you, because you're a very funny guy, a very smart guy, and a very talented guy. I just, okay, don't agree with me so much. I just want to.
I'm just going,
Now, you're born in New Orleans, Louisiana, but you grew up in Baton Rouge. Quickly, just give me a real quick story of how did you come to the guitar? What was your inspiration?
I don't know. No.
Stop it.
No, yeah, I was born in New Orleans, but I was started in Okanola, Louisiana. You ever heard of Okanola?
I think you wrote about it in one of your songs, didn't you?
Okanola, Louisiana, it's right between Baywood and Clinton, back in the woods. And so that's where I was raised until I was 8 years old, and then we moved to Baton Rouge. But my Uncle George, he was a paraplegic, and he lived almost in Clinton. It's on Lathers Lane now, but at that particular time it didn't have a name on the road. And he would sit in his wheelchair and play Jimmy Reed licks while my dad would work on his car or station wagon. And I used to lay out in the grass and watch my Uncle George play Jimmy Reed licks sitting in his wheelchair. And one day he told me, he said, "You really like my guitar, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I sure do, Uncle George." And he said, "Well, if you convince your mom and dad to get you one, I'll teach you a little bit that I know." And so that was how I got started playing right there. They did give me a guitar. Do you remember Spiegel catalog?
The Spiegel, I remember the Sears catalog, but the Spiegel catalog, they had the old, it was not very good guitars, right? I mean, they
No,
were
they had,
cheap,
all
right?
of them had the same guitars, except Sears had their own brand, Silvertone or something.
Right.
Montgomery Ward, Sears, and, well, it wasn't Sears, it was Sears and Roebuck. Montgomery Ward, Sears and Roebuck, and Spiegel. So the cheapest one was in Spiegel, and I got a plastic M&E with the little battery-operated amplifier. And my Uncle George tuned it up, put the strings on it, and that's what I started on. So that's how I got kicked off right there, watching my Uncle George in his wheelchair play Jimmy Reed licks.
Now, before that, though, what made you, look at the guitar and think, man, that's something I'd like to do? Or,
Well, of course. I mean, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Porter Wagner Show, and my cousins, they had guitars, but I was too small to play them, and I just used to look at them and go walk up to them and strum them. And I used to take the fly swatter and the broom. When I got bigger, I'd take the broom, but I had this fly swatter, and I would just play. And it was just in me to fool with the guitar.
by Reverend Utah?
Reverend Utah
Smith
and Charlie Jackson. They used to come to the church, and they would let me touch their guitars, and so it's been a love for guitars ever since I first saw one. I don't know what it is, I just like them.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, some of them are.
So you learned to play guitar. You've had some people teach you guitar. Now, at this point, I'm imagining it's about the time you go into the service, right? You served in Korea?
Yeah, but not the Korean War. Some people.
No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just said Korea. I
Yeah,
know
Korea, 71 to 72. Yeah, 1971.
Because I know you weren't, you said Okinawa. I didn't think you were serving on Okinawa, right?
No, not in Okinawa. No, I was in Seongsan and Panmunjom, and I think I flew into Osan, but Anyahashimnika.
Did you bring your guitar with you? Were you playing guitar like?
No, well, we had the service club. You know, I don't know if the military still do that. I mean, they cut out all the good stuff, but we used to go to the service club. You could sign out a guitar and sign out an amplifier, sign out the chords, sign out everything, and they had these rooms you could go play in, and so all the musician guys would go down there and sign stuff out. You try to get there early. When you get off, get there early as you can, because people would sign out the good stuff.
What kind of stuff are you playing?
I've had I played bass or guitar back then, you know, and I had, oh, you mean music?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in Korea, I got hooked up with maybe what you call a classic rock band nowadays, you know, but we played anything from Al Green to Spooky Tooth and the Zombies and Otis Redding. I mean, we had this guy out of Florida, Donald Butler, and he was talented enough to be able to sing R&B and rock, classic rock or whatever. We did Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I mean, we did all that back then, you know. And when I got back to Fort Hood, Texas, well, I got into another band along the same lines, the same vein of music, and I won an award in Texas, and I said, oh man, this is getting good, you know. And I came back home, and all the blues were gone, all the clubs were closed and turning themselves into disco bars with the ball spinning and, you know, the disco thing. And I just kind of backed off music for a while, and I bought me a Harley Davidson, and I started riding Harleys, and I mean, ain't only thing better than a guitar is a Harley, you know.
So what brought you back into music? What brought you back to the blues?
I got me a good job. I mean, that was the main thing, you know, go to college and get out, get you a good job, but I quit college, and my cousin told me to go put in an application at Dow, and my other cousin told me to go put in one at Exxon. And so happened, both of them called me at the same time. And they said, man, you don't want to work in no refinery, man. Come on over to Dow, work in a chemical plant. So, so I went to work at Dow, and I really enjoyed my work, and I really loved getting up, going to work every morning. One day on the way home from work one evening, right in front of the governor's mansion, they had a big accident, and they had traffic backed up all the way almost to the bridge. And I eased down, and I got off on the one to get on North Boulevard. And I hadn't been in that part of town in, Lord have mercy, years. And man, I'm going out down the street, and they got this little raggedy sign out front, Blues Jam #2 night. And that was at Tabby's Blues Box.
Tabby's Blues Box.
Yeah, and I stopped my car, and I went inside. No, my truck, I was riding a truck there. And I went inside, and this lady was cleaning up, and Tabby was sitting on stage plunking on his guitar. And I said, y'all got a band playing over there tonight? Oh, yeah, man, anybody line to walk in here. You might walk in here and see the OJs or James Brown, anybody. This Tabby Blues Box. So I went home. He said, come back. I said, what time y'all start? I said, I don't have an amplifier. You know, he said, oh, you ain't got to worry about no amp. I got amps up there. You can play my amps. So I went home, and I pulled my guitar from under the bed. And my wife said, what you doing? I said, son, I'm going to the jam session tonight. She said, a jam session? I said, yeah, Tabby's Blues Box. And she said, where is that? I said, downtown on North Boulevard. She said, that little old raggedy place hanging out. Because she worked down that way.
Your wife has always been the voice of reason in your relationship.
Yeah, of course. And I'm not going to say anything different because she's sitting in the audience. And yes, she has. Had meant for her, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
Right now. Exactly.
Sandra Kay,
Exactly.
ladies and gentlemen.
She's somewhere out there. I thought she was. Maybe she's off drinking Cokes. Drinking
Coca-Cola, not the last Coke. So,
yeah.
Tabby's Blues Box. Here you're exposed to Silas Hogan,
Henry Gray,
Clarence Edwards, all of these guys.
W.W. Wolf.
What does that mean? How does that transform you into a blues man?
Well, I mean, hanging out with those guys, you just feel like you're part of something really cool, you know, and I just felt so cool when people. I mean, even though Tabby was a little raggedy place, the education that I got there and the just feeling like I was part of something real, you know, going there. And right now I look back on those days when think about W.W. Woolfolk and Guitar Kelly and Silas Hogan, Clarence Edwards, all
Lonesome
those guys.
Sundown.
Lonesome Sundown. But Lonesome had quit playing in public. He was only playing in church every now and then. But his wife, she still liked the music. She would come around. She invited me over to their house. And he told me, he said, you know, I left that alone. He said, I play in the church now. He said, I don't play that kind of music no more. I said, well, would you play that music long enough to show me a Lonesome Sundown lick? And he said, I'm going to show you this one thing. He said, no, don't never ask me to play this music no more. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe somebody messed him around on the money, but when Lonesome Sundown gave it up, he gave it up.
It's like taking the bottle off the devil or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to do
doing
it just enough.
Just enough, yeah.
Just enough.
But he showed me one lick, and I always played the lick, too. And all of them, I'd ask him to show me something, you know. And it was just a great experience, a great education for me, you know.
So 1988, I think you won the International Blues Challenge.
I didn't know that's what it was at the time. But
Really? How's that? I mean, that's
It
a
was
big
just
deal.
called. It was just called a talent show in Memphis, the Memphis Blues Talent Show. And Shannon Williford, we were over at Phil Brady's, and Shannon came up and he told me, he said, "Man, I think you ought to go do this, man. I think you could win this." And I said, "Well, I don't have no money to go up there and hang out like that." And Terry said, "Well, if we go, you can stay at my parents' house." You know, Terry Dockery was a harmonica player, and we went up there, and for 3 days it was us against 68 other bands. And I just knew we had won it the first day we played because of the way, the rapport I had with the audience and the guys who were the judges. I mean, I just had them laughing, and they were like applauding, standing up applauding. So I knew. But when they called our name to win the last day, I didn't know that we were the first non-Memphis band to win the thing. You know, I didn't know that all them years nobody that wasn't from Memphis had won, and we were the first non-Memphis band to win. Little old Bayou band from down in Louisiana. Yeah.
You, right after that, got contract with JSP Records.
Yep.
And your first record was called Two Blues.
Nope. Double blues.
Double Blues.
Double dues.
Double Dues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paying dues at the home and paying dues in the street. You know.
But I wanted to ask about Two Blues.
Two Blues was the next one.
Why was it called Two Blues? And for our listeners, TOO also,
Yeah,
or
T.O.
Too Much Blues.
Almost too much blues, two blues. Well, this guy Steve Coleridge came over from England, and he was looking for that old mule wagon blues man. And I said, man, that don't exist no more, you know. I said, you might go find somebody with a shotgun house and a wash tub hanging on the side. I said, but nobody getting up in the morning working in the cotton fields no more. And I say the closest thing you may find to one of those blues guys with that blues voice is Clarence Edwards. And he met Clarence Edwards. He said, "Oh yeah, man, this is perfect."
Right.
And so he jumped on Clarence Edwards' bandwagon, and he put out a record on him. And I had a cassette out at the time, and he was shopping my cassette around with Clarence's stuff, and he said, "This stuff is just too blues." One of the record moguls, one of the big record industry guys.
Right.
He said, "Well, this is a little too blues." And I say, okay, well, these are blues guys, and how can you have something too blues for blues guys, you know? So now I understand it, looking at some of the stuff that's going on in the world for as blues. I can see why they would say our stuff is too blues, because that stuff is not blues. But anyway, that's how it came to be, and I won't tell y'all who said it. But he's grinned in my face since, and I just say, you don't know that I know what you said, you know. But I won't say who said it.
You travel all over the world. You are truly a Baton Rouge Blues ambassador. You played in Turkey. You played, I mean, all over the world.
Abu Dhabi,
Dubai,
Tunisia,
everywhere.
Senegal. Yeah.
What's the reaction to your music and what you're trying to do, what you're doing?
Well, being from Louisiana, I mean, people from Louisiana living here don't have a clue about how great the Louisiana just the whole Louisiana thing is to the rest of the people in the
We're
world.
spoiled.
Yeah, we're used to that. So, man, when people find out you're from Louisiana, first off, they go, wow, Louisiana, oh, I want to go there so bad, Louisiana, you know. I say, well, it's just Louisiana's a small, small place. It's just from Alexander down to New Orleans. The rest of I mean, really, it is, you know. And my wife hated when I say that. She knew she's from Logansport up there. And she we're from Louisiana, too. I say, y'all got 2 licenses up there, one in Texas and one in Louisiana, you know. And, but anyway, yeah, they want to come to Louisiana, and I invite them all to my house. I mean, anybody, you know, people from England, people from France, people from Italy stayed at my house. Just I cook for them, you know. And I had this German couple came, and it was a perfect August. I mean, you know, usually it's just steaming in August.
Sure, right.
Man, this was that perfect August where you could sit outside. It was just so cool. And I said, y'all never seen real shotguns? And I went in the house and got a couple shotguns, and I let them hold them. And they got excited. I said, we don't get the, I said, well, you can hold shotguns in Louisiana and nobody gonna mess with you, you know. And they went back and told all their friends in Germany, Larry Garner's crazy, he got these guns. I said, well, you need to meet all my friends because we all got guns. But yeah, they love coming to Louisiana. The fact that you play the blues, man, it just makes it so cool to be from Louisiana and play the blues. But we don't talk about it like everybody else talking about their home of the blues, this, that, and the other. We don't brag about it here. I mean, we got a blues festival. We got a couple clubs. And the people don't really, I mean, you know, we don't have as big an audience as you think we would have, you know. But Louisiana is just cool to be from here and play the blues.
I want to talk about your songwriting technique, because I've always thought of you as like a blues philosopher.
No.
I mean, the songs that you write, I mean, when people think of the blues, I mean, most people, they think of the blues. I woke up this morning, my wife left me, and I lost my job, my dog died, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you write some really insightful, poignant, funny, introspective stuff. Where does that come from? I mean, it comes from you.
I used to write
obviously.
stories, you know, like in high school, I had this English teacher, and she asked us all to write a story about our life as to get extra credit, you know, and I needed all the extra credit I could get, cause and I wrote this story, and she said, you know what, this is a really good story you wrote. I got a B+ on it, you know, and she said, you should consider writing, you know. And after that, I just started writing stuff. And when I was working at this chemical plant, they gave me a computer. And I used to, you know, in between times, I would sit there and I would write songs and go try it out on my co-workers. And say, man, what does it sound like? What does it sound like? Larry, man, you crazy. You better get back to work, man, writing songs. So I don't know, it's just something, you know, I got a knack for writing
Well,
songs.
since I've known you for a few years, and if something strikes your fancy, or you're
Yeah, I
out
write
somewhere,
it
you
down.
write something down on a napkin, or you write something down.
Or
And,
I'll say, that's a good line in a song. Right. That's a good title.
Right.
That's a good CD name, you know.
Right, right.
It's just something, yeah.
but then you turn it into something that's you know, a piece of.
Just a knack, you know. Everybody got a knack, you know. Some
You
guy
think that's
can,
your knack?
yeah, some guy can just listen at your car and say, oh, I know what that is. That's your throttle body. That's what's wrong. You need to spray some carburetor cleaner. You know, but I can't do that, you know. So I can write a song, though.
Would you guys out there
No.
like Larry to favor us with a song? Yeah. I'd like to ask you to play a song now. Now I know you've got a very wonderful philosophy on life, and I also know that, you know, I'm getting married in a couple of months.
I know you do.
So I was asking, I was hoping, I was thinking maybe you might sing me a song, maybe help me prepare for my upcoming wedding.
I'll do that. And congratulations to you, Julia and Rob. They
Thank you,
finna
thank you.
cut that cake, man. I tell you what.
Thank you very much.
I'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Gonna get Larry prepared here, and he's gonna sing us a fantastic song. This is an original song. It's always original. And get this microphone set for you here.
That's my Lonesome Sundown lick.
The Lonesome Sundown lick. Oh, that's good. That's good. Is that good for you?
That's good. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
It's Larry Garner. Some live blues from Backstage at the Blues Festival, Baton Rouge Blues Festival 2015. Come on down, folks.
You better fix your woman breakfast and bring it to the bed. Some men don't understand what I said, but she the boss. She's the boss. You can call your woman what you want to, but I know the woman is the boss. Now some men call you henpecked, but they don't understand. You gonna wake up every morning being proud that you a man, cause she the boss. Yeah, the woman the boss. You call your woman what you want to, but I know the woman is the boss. She the boss. She the boss. She the boss. She pays the cost. She the boss. Yeah, the boss. You call your woman what you want to, but Rob, she's the boss. She's the boss. Some men says a shame and a sin. You only get to wear the pants to keep your shirt tucked in. But she the boss. Yeah, boss. You call your woman what you want to, but I know the female is the boss. You can help me on this. She the boss, she's a boss, she the boss, she's a boss, she the boss, she's a boss, she the boss, she's a boss. Yeah, the woman. She the boss, she's the boss. You call your woman what you want to, but I know the woman is the boss. Yeah.
Larry Garner, y'all. Larry Garner right here. Backstage at the 2015 Baton Rouge Blues Festival. It's happening right now. Y'all have no doubt. Please come down. Larry, you're going to be taking the stage this evening, I think about 6
o'clock. That's what I'm told.
Right
On one
before
of them-
Lacey Lester.
On one of them two stages.
And there's a lot of stages, there's a lot of people down here, but it's a lot of fun. It's a great, great, great event. I'm noticing you don't play with a pick.
No, that's Guitar Kelly's fault.
Now, how is that?
Well, we were playing at a little club that's since been torn down on 39th Street, and Kelly asked me to come and do Basa for him. And Basa it's only two guitars. He playing the guitar, and I'm just turning mine down till the treble is gone, so I get some bass. So I went to Basa for him, and I took a solo, and my pick plunked across the floor. And he told me after the gig, he said, "Larry, you know what? You ain't no bad guitar player, and if you get rid of that picker, you probably do a whole lot better." And I went home that night, and I stopped. I laid down with my guitar, just playing with just my fingers, and I stopped playing with a pick. This was back in '82, '81, but I'd always keep a pick in my pocket, just in case. But finally, I got weaned off the pick, and I hadn't played with a pick since 1986, '87, somewhere. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I left the pick alone.
That's great.
So I'm free of the pick.
Don't let Pick Delmore heard you say.
Oh
that.
yeah, not pick, not that
Pick
pick.
Delmore.
No, not that pick.
I think maybe we've got time for a question or two. If anybody in the audience wants to ask Larry a question. No? No? Everybody good? Yes? Yes, sir.
Well, yeah. Why do you find playing without a pick better? What about it?
Why do you find playing without a pick better?
Well, that's less money I got to spend, and one less thing I ain't got to worry about on my mind. Just like I mean, just when you ain't got to worry about no hair, you just one less thing to worry about, you know. And you just can touch it, you know. I like the guitar. I like it a lot. I like to touch it, you know. I don't want nothing between me and the strings.
Larry, you've traveled around the world, as I said. Do you have any an interesting story about maybe at some point in your travels overseas?
Oh, I
Something
tell you what,
we're on the radio. So
I can say this on the
clean.
radio. I mean, as far as Lebanon, Beirut goes, I will never come to Beirut or Lebanon again because they kicked me out of the country 3 times.
What?
Yes, they did. Because they thought, I mean, my son found it out later. He went online. There's a guy, Larry Garner in Israel, who's a real estate guy. And they, now if you got enough technology.
Does he play with a pick? Or,
I don't know what
I'm just curious.
I don't know, but they thought I was that guy. But you would think if they got enough technology to look at my name pop up, they would have enough technology to look at the picture and find a picture. But they just had the name technology, not the photo technology. And 3 times they asked me to come over there. And 3 times they kicked me out of the country. Wouldn't let me in the country. So as far as I'm concerned, anything that happens in Beirut and Lebanon, I don't care, man. They treated me bad.
He must have been the worst real estate agent, I guess.
Well, he was, no, but they really got a bad thing about being Israel and being Beirut. I mean, they really don't like each other very much. And so that's how bad they don't like each other.
I've heard
if
that.
you go to one country and you got the stamp in your passport, and they see it, they won't let you in that country. So this is really crazy, man. I mean, I just wanted to play the blues. I just wanted to do a gig, you know. And they thought I was coming to buy Lebanon.
So we're running out of time. I want to thank you, Larry, so much for not only being a true ambassador to Baton Rouge and Louisiana, traveling all over the world, because, I mean, you've written several songs, Raised in the Country. If
Go to
you want to
Baton
hear the
Rouge.
blues, go to Baton Rouge. I mean, you're truly an ambassador of blues in Louisiana. So we really, really want to thank you so much for everything that you do. Keep doing it. Stay healthy. And you're going to be playing this afternoon right
6
here.
o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Downtown in the Baton Rouge River Center here for Baton Rouge Blues Fest 2015. And as we're winding our last few minutes down, I know you also like to cook. Would you like to give our listeners a little taste of what you're going to be cooking this weekend?
Food-wise, you're talking about?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yes. Hold on a second. I told you we're on the radio. What are you doing?
Well, I thought you were talking about burning off some
No,
spirits or
I'm talking
something.
about maybe you can do some ribs, you can do some chicken.
No, what I did it day before yesterday. I did some deer, chicken liver, pork, boudin.
Whoa!
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Out of sight.
And I don't go to trouble putting it in the cases. I just serve it right up on the plate so you don't have to got to fight with no cases.
I bet Mama loved that.
Oh man, yeah. and I did learn how to make a boudin ball. You know,
Okay,
so
right.
it's very easy. Once you make the boudin, and you pull back a little bit of the stock in there to get it kind of squishy like Play-Doh in your hand, and you ball it up. And you get you some flour and put your little Tony Sachets in your flour, you roll it up. Then you get your egg and you roll it in the egg, and then you take it back out of that, put it back in the flour, roll it one more time to get it double crispy. Then put it back in there, and then you roll it in some breadcrumbs. And you drop it in the thing, and you fry it for just until it's golden brown. Don't let it stay too long.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
The boudin ball.
The
yes.
boudin ball.
Yeah.
A la Larry Garner. Larry Garner, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Yeah.
Come on down, folks. It's the 2015 Baton Rouge Blues Festival.
Voila.